Hello, fellow nature nerds. Welcome to Dirt Dispatch number 8. I'm your host, Tim the Nature Nerd O'Hara. So I'm going to start with a pelican update. Still no chicks. I don't know what's going on with these pelicans. Actually, most of them have left. There's still one or two hanging around, but I don't know. Maybe I missed the pelican chicks. Maybe they didn't have any. But it's kind of a mystery. I would have expected to see at least one or two. I saw ducklings, I saw goslings, I saw all kinds of other baby birds, but no pelicans. So I'm a little disappointed, but we'll keep an eye out. Maybe next year we'll have some pelican chicks. Now, the other thing I want to talk about today is salvage. So when I talk about salvage, what I'm talking about is basically collecting roadkill. So I got started doing nature programs when I worked for Fontanelle Forest Nature Center in Omaha, Nebraska. And of course, being a nature center, they had a collection of skulls and pelts and things like that I could take with me to do sort of a show and tell when I did relevant programs to those items. So when I started my own business, when I started Dispatches from the Forest in Virginia, I had to start getting that stuff for myself. Now, I could buy it, but that gets expensive pretty quickly. Or with the help of some webinars and some YouTube videos, I could do it myself. So in Virginia, you need a permit to collect roadkill. Most people don't know this, but roadkill is not just a free-for-all depending on where you live. And it makes sense because if I collect a deer skull or I collect a fox skull or a fox pelt or something like that, they don't know that I didn't kill that animal illegally. Now, I don't kill any animals for my program. They've all been killed in other ways, usually by vehicles, which is a senseless way for an animal to die, in my opinion, because it serves no purpose. So anyways, my point is, in Virginia, you had to have a permit. It was very specific to animal. It was very specific to the county it was collected in. And in order to get a permit in the state of Virginia to collect roadkill, it could not be for monetary gain. It had to be for scientific or educational purposes, which of course, Dispatches from the Forest, I do educational nature programs. And anything bird related, birds, you need a federal permit, a federal migratory bird salvage permit. And they're even stricter. In order to get that permit, it has to be also for educational or scientific purposes. And for an educational permit, I actually have to submit letters from places and people that are interested in booking my programs. So I do have that migratory bird salvage permit as well. Now, here in Wyoming, things are a little less strict, but when we moved here, I called Wyoming Fish and Game to inquire about a salvage permit because I went on their website and the only things it has listed are turkeys, deer, pronghorn, bison, elk, and moose. If you hit one of those, you can get on the app, you can pay a fee, and you can salvage it. But it didn't say anything else. So I called Fish and Game and I said, so what about everything else? Is it just pretty much a free-for-all? And they said, yeah, more or less. But the Wyoming Department of Transportation does have an app that you can go on to report roadkill. So where is this all leading? Well, it's all leading to Saturday morning, this past Saturday morning, I was on my way to a mountain bike race and I saw, not far from my house, a road-killed mountain lion. And I got very excited. So I pulled over, I took some pictures, I got on the app to report the roadkill, and you get on the app and you report, I want to report a road-killed mountain lion, and it says, do you want to salvage this animal? Yes, absolutely. And then it said, well, you can't. It's on the forbidden harvest list, which sounds very ominous, but unfortunately, I was not able to salvage this mountain lion. It was a beautiful animal, probably weighed at least 100 pounds. I believe it was a female. Later, when I got home and I told my wife about it and showed her the pictures, she said, I think I saw a mountain lion on base. So this would have been after I saw this one that was roadkill. She thought she saw another one here on base near the housing. So I actually stopped in today at Wyoming Fish and Game to let them know, and they pretty much said, yep, they wander around. So they really didn't care that there was a mountain lion nearby, even though it's not unheard of for them to be here in Cheyenne or here near Cheyenne, but it is fairly rare because it's wide open space here, and they tend to live either farther east in near Pinedale, Wyoming, kind of that region, or farther west where you get into actually more mountains and things. But it was fascinating to me. It was really cool to get to touch, to get to see up close. It was sad that it was hit by a car, but also sad that I wasn't able to salvage it, because that would have been a beautiful skull and potentially pelt to be able to have in my collection of things. But so that's all I have for you today. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to support the podcast, please consider becoming a patron. You can find that information at patreon.com/dispatches from the forest. If you're interested in making a one-time donation or in sending me an email, you can do that at dispatchesfromtheforest@gmail.com. We also have merch, so check out the merch store. That can be found at cafepress.com/shop/dispatches from the forest. I'm your host, Tim the Nature Nerd O'Hara, reminding you to go outside and get dirty. Dirt Dispatches is a production of Dispatches from the Forest and may not be used or rebroadcast whole or in part without express written permission.